Okay, today I'm going over basic setup and maintenance of Windows 7. Now, Windows 7 is still supported. It's a very good system. I suggest if you find a place, you should get it. I know Memory Express still has it in stock, but that's a Canadian company. So you Canadians are in luck, but you Americans, I don't know where you can get it. Sorry. But Windows 7. Still using it on my host machine, but I'm going to show you basic setup and basic maintenance. So it's always good go to custom if it's a fresh install like this. Now drive options. If you know how to set up a custom partition, then go right ahead. Now, you don't want to use a size that's 16 gigabytes. This is just for my testing purposes. Know that. Just try not to use a 16 gigabyte. Actually, try not to use anything smaller than 25 gigabytes. Yeah, so your Windows XP machine, if it's over 25 gigabytes, you're fine. So yes, I can apply that. I'm not really going to do much else. So go next. And it will copy your Windows files and expand them, then install everything. So I'll be back once that's done. Okay, the main expanding of Windows file, which takes the longest, is complete. Now we just have to wait for it to complete installation. Now, your computer will restart after the expanding of files. I don't know what that was. Probably just installing the mouse. But let's just say the virtual machine flash, just in case if the video didn't pick that up for whatever reason. Now, it just has to complete installation, then I'll show you basic setup. Now, when it restarts, don't ask me about any programs you may see on the desktop or my music. Now, if you do ask, it's my own personal taste, so you're not really going to get an answer. So I just hate being criticized by people. Now, it will restart your computer, and you'll start basic setup. Now you don't want to boot it from the CD or DVD, because that will just boot you into the first part of the setup process. Now it will start up Windows with that normal feeling of Windows 7 booting up, I guess you could say. But, yeah. I always showed you Windows 10 setup, which is very close to 8. So, that's fine. Now, I'm showing this because a lot of people are still using XP. And they just don't want to upgrade. And now setup will prepare the computer for first use. And the album you see right now playing on iTunes, I got this. It is legal. Well, maybe not completely legal, but I found it in the net spots that I was testing. The disk drive broke after I took it out. Probably explains why a disk was in there. Okay, now this is basic setup. Let me just resize the screen. Okay, I just resized the screen. That's why I don't usually put in HD size. But I'll quickly set it up. So type a username. Your name would be good. You can type in whatever you want, but this is what your files are going to be called. Now password. You don't need a password at this moment, but you may want to set up one later. My teacher recommends set up a password later. And I'll be back once I get the product key. But he says to set up later because all the updates fix any security holes that are in there. Actually, I don't need to add the product key right now. So just go next. Use recommended settings. I want to change it to Central Time, so change it to your time. Yes, I'm doing this at 9:34 PM feels a lot later. Now, depending on where you are, if you're at a coffee shop or any public network that you're setting it up on, like say Shaw Open, MTS, free Wi-Fi for your company, or like AT&T at a coffee shop, you will want to be on a public network. But if you're at home or at work, choose choose the most appropriate, which is either home or work. Now, it will connect to your network and apply settings. Since I'm at home, I'm going to choose home, of course. So, that's probably the best choice if... Well, actually public is the best choice. That way no computers can access it. Except for ones that are set up through a VPN connection that you are actually trusted to connect to. Now, I'm using Windows 7 Professional. It has a bit more features than Windows 7 Home Edition, which is on my host machine. And it has a lot more features than Windows 7 Starter. You don't want Windows 7 Starter. You can't even change the desktop on that. Now it's going to prepare everything, and I'll be back once I get all the updates and that complete. This does have Service Pack 1, so it won't take that long for me. And I'll be back once it's finished. And where's my mouse? So it just disappeared on me. I'll be back. Actually, before I leave to do the updates, I just want to mention something. You can just search for Windows Update. It goes through the programs and control panel. Now, this is how it's going to look when you first open it up. So you want to check for updates. So we'll check for updates, then tell you about any updates that need to be installed. Hardware is your choice. It's an optional. But important updates, you want to install them no matter what, since Microsoft had a pretty huge breach in the past little while. Like, the Heartbleed was OpenSSL, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do have to worry about the internet hack and the remote control hack. So I'll be back once it's completed with setting up the updates. Okay. Now these updates here, they are extra updates. You don't have to install them. They aren't highly needed, but I always do. You may have some hardware updates below them. Now, if you don't know how to, like, say, back up a driver, like, revert a driver, don't install them unless you know how to revert a driver, because sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Like on my computer, the update was fine to help my wireless adapter, the driver update, but sometimes it's not. But anyways, here it is. I'm going to install these updates. So if you want to install these optional updates, click OK. Now how I got to that page, I just clicked on the 4 optional updates. Now you want to install the updates. User account control will probably pop up. This will pop up for the Windows Metacker software removal tool. November 2014, that's the latest. Hit finish, and it should start installing your updates. And I'll be back once that's complete. And once the download is finished for updates, it will it will go directly into installation, like most of the other operating systems, without any confirmation from the user. I'll be back once the installation is complete. Your computer will restart when the installations are done. So I'll be back once the installations are complete. Okay, now I believe I got most of the updates. I had to stop for the night to go to sleep in that church in the morning, which I didn't end up going to anyways. But I'm just checking for final updates, and I'm going to install them once they complete. So if you can't hear me, but I try. There's this one buzzing. Not sure if it's from my phone or what. I have an older phone that's, well, of course it's analog, but yeah. Now, this is one thing you don't want turned off. This is Windows 7 Professional. Now, Windows Defender, you want to turn that on. I have no idea why it's turned off. But you want it turned on once it decides to turn on. Now, virus program, yes, I'll install that soon. You want to set up a backup. There's a reason why that's there. Say your computer crashes, or gets destroyed, or... Sorry, I heard something downstairs. Anyways, with this program, I wouldn't recommend it for a random antivirus. As for like a built-in antivirus, Windows 8 is better for this because Windows Defender completely changed to Windows Security Essentials, which is one of the worst antivirus you can get after this. Now I don't know what this problem is, but yeah, I'll get that done soon. And it looks like there are 79 more updates, which I thought I installed. Okay then, I'll get that one in, and I'll show you the program that you should use to install all your basic programs. Anything else you may use? Why was it just cancelled? Okay. This thing is acting slow since I have it running on 1 gig. I'll just close it. And close Windows Defender. Now I don't have internet set up. That's why it's going to go to Microsoft first. Now, I suggest doing this after you install all your updates, but this site is actually pretty good. This is what we use in my school. It's a very good program, I would have to say, because it installs everything that you would need, like the basic stuff. I don't care internet. Yeah, it will install a certain number of things. Would you? Oh, I really hate Microsoft at times. Okay, so let me select Chrome. You can choose any one. Panda now has an antivirus out, which I just changed to on my host machine because AVG has been giving me problems, but AVG is good on a virtual machine. You want... No wait, not Java Developer Kit. You don't need that. If you have anything like this that you need, like iTunes, you would want to download and install that. But you want to install Java, Air and Shockwave. Now, one of these programs is good. Like I usually go with 7-zip. Like if you find any weird programs or anything that are compressed with the Linux compression that Windows won't recognize, download 7-zip or something. If you're running Windows 8 or 8.1, click on the classic start and it will just add a start menu. And now it will start downloading, installing. It will not harm your computer. This is actually still a pretty good site. It's preparing setup. And it should start. Yes, you want to run it. Now prepare setup. Then it's going to download and install all your programs that you selected. Now, the only thing that it doesn't download is Flash Player. But it does download Shockwave Player and Java. So, you're still good for right now. but it installs your antivirus last, which I don't really like. But for right now, it's fine. I'll be back once it's done to show you basic maintenance tasks. Now I'm done with the updates, and now we can. I had to run the update program a number of times, but this is how you do a maintenance one. You will open your documents, go to my computer, open a computer. Now, right click it, go to properties, then run disk cleanup. May take a little while, but you should actually do this like maybe once a week, at the most once a month. You can also use a program like C Cleaner, Advanced System Kill, ABG Tune-Up, but I found C Cleaner works extremely well, but it still misses some things that disk cleanup doesn't. Now, depending on how fast your computer is, that will be the main that will determine the time. So just have to wait until that completes the scanning. It shouldn't take too long now. And I'll pause the video once that's done scanning. Now, the scanning has completed. You want to select just about everything in here to free up the most disk space you possibly can. I had friends that had over 2 gigabytes of this because they completely skipped that process of cleaning up their disk. They didn't even know it was there. Now this can speed up your system, or it will speed up your system, and it will clear up some disk space if you need it. If you have a 2 terabyte drive, doesn't really matter. But I'll be right back once this thing is done calculating again. And yes, it is calculating again. Or maybe I don't have to pause the video. I'll pause it anyways. Okay, it only took a couple of seconds, so it would take longer. But still, you want to select everything in here to free up the most disk space. And in Windows Update Cleanup, look how much is in just that one. 108 megabytes. And that's a lot. That's just after a Windows update. So hit OK to start deleting the files and cleaning up drive C. And I'll be back once that's complete to show you another step you do to clean up your system. Okay, now that's complete. You don't have to run it again, but if you believe it wasn't deleted, you can. Now another step to take. Didn't it say 4 gigabytes before? Whatever. Anyways, for the tools here, go into tools, you have Defragment. So this process will defrag your system. So you hit analyze disks. It will tell you if it needs defragmentation or not. But it's also one default of 1 AM every Wednesday, and you can configure your schedule over here. Now I can just close that. Backup, you can also do it from your local disk C, but I suggest doing it from your backup in Restore Center. Now error checking. This thing should only be done once a year because of the length it takes. You should select both of these for the best option. Defragmentation is done weekly, and backup you should do that every month. But Windows sets up a schedule, so if you have a drive connected or you're uploading to a network, it will do that automatically every week. Now just hit OK. Now restart the system to show you what the disk check looks like. Now, apart from that, and apart from it configuring updates again, apart from all, anyways, with just keep your antivirus software or anti-malware software and that up to date, and keep doing a weekly scan, because even if you just go on Facebook, YouTube, or if you're downloading a lot, I suggest you have it set up properly and have files that you know may contain viruses excluded. Don't know why you would do that, but this is the disk check anyways. But you should really just follow my advice and do a virus scan every week. There's a schedule program on your antivirus. The reason I didn't show you this one is because every antivirus is different. No antivirus is 100%. Most of them are like 80%. They won't catch everything. So I suggest if you have one antivirus, also get a company like Malwarebytes Anti-Malware. You don't need to pay for the full version, but the full version just offers real-time protection. But you should have a real antivirus like AVG, Panda, free antivirus. Also, you could pay for the versions which usually offer something like a firewall. And that will be it for today. Thanks for watching.